大家好，我是 Jenny， 欢迎来到沉思者 J。 有一座建筑，它从1882年开始盖了超过140年，现在还没盖完。它不是废弃的工地，它是全世界参观人数最多的景点之一，每年有超过400万人专程飞到巴塞隆纳，只为了看这一栋还在盖的大教堂。它叫做圣家堂，它的设计者叫做安东尼高第。今天的故事就从这栋永远在生长的教堂开始讲起。高第是谁？很多人第一次看到圣家堂的照片，第一个反应不是惊叹，而是困惑。这什么东西？它的外墙长满了像熔岩流动的曲线，塔楼像植物茎干一样往上生长，装饰像贝壳、骨头、蜂巢，没有一条直线，没有一个标准的几何图形，看起来像是大自然本身长出来的建筑。这就是高第，他不是在盖房子，他是在让建筑物生长。安东尼高第伊科尔内特，1852年6月25日，生于西班牙加泰隆尼亚的雷乌斯小镇。他的父亲是一位铜匠，家里世代打造铜制器皿。高第从小就跟着父亲在工坊里长大，他看着金属在火焰中弯曲变形，看着立体的器皿从平面的金属片成型，这让他从很小的时候就拥有一种特别的空间直觉。但高第从小有一个大问题，他患有严重的风湿病，关节总是又红又肿，很多时候连走路都很痛苦。他没办法像其他孩子一样到处跑跳玩耍，所以他就坐在那里观察大自然。他观察蝸牛壳的螺旋纹路，观察蜘蛛网的几何结构，观察树枝分叉的角度，观察海浪打在岸边留下的曲线。他发现大自然里几乎没有直线，所有的结构都是曲线，都是抛物线、双曲线、螺旋线，而这些形态不只是漂亮的，它们是最有效率的结构，是千万年演化找到的最优解。这个童年的发现成为高第一生建筑哲学的核心。1869年，17岁的高第前往巴塞隆纳，准备进入建筑学校，但他家里并不富裕，他必须边工作边读书。他在多个建筑师事务所打工，帮人画图、做模型、跑腿，一边上学一边赚钱缴学费。他的成绩并不是特别突出，他不是那种靠天才横扫所有科目的学生，但他有一种固执的坚持，他对任何他觉得不对的东西都无法接受。他会跟老师争论，跟同学辩驳，因为他心里有一个非常清楚的声音在告诉他，建筑不应该是那个样子的。1878年，26岁的高第终于拿到建筑师执照。他的校长在他毕业的时候说了一句话，这个执照是给了天才，还是给了疯子，只有时间知道。事实上，两者都是。刚毕业的高第很快就引起了一个人的注意，这个人叫做欧塞比奎尔，是巴塞隆纳最富有的工业家之一。奎尔第一次见到高第是在1878年的巴黎世界博览会上，他看到了高第设计的一个手套展示柜。他就看出了高第不一样。奎尔后来说，我看到的不只是一个展示柜，我看到了一个全新的审美宇宙。从此奎尔成为高第最重要的赞助人，他给了高第几乎无限制的自由，让他尽情实验。奎尔公园、奎尔宫、奎尔庄园小教堂，这些都是奎尔出钱让高第去实现那些疯狂想法的地方。而在这段时间，高第的建筑语言开始成熟。他研究锁链的物理学，如果你把一条链子两端固定，让它自然垂下来，它形成的曲线叫做悬链线。高第发现，如果把这条曲线上下翻转，它就变成一个完美的拱形，可以承受最大的重量，不需要任何额外的支撑。大自然的重力帮你计算出了最强的结构。他把这个原理用在建筑上，他用绳子和沙袋做出建筑的缩小模型，让重力自动决定每一条曲线的角度，然后把模型翻转过来拍照，就得到了建筑的蓝图。这是人类建筑史上前所未有的设计方法。 他还深入研究双曲抛物面，就是那种马鞍形的曲面。他发现这种曲面可以只用直线条木料构成，施工容易，结构却比传统拱顶强得多。他把自然界的数学语言一个一个翻译成建筑的语言。1883年，高第接手了一个让他完全沉浸其中的项目——圣家堂。这个项目原本是另一位建筑师维拉尔开始的，但维拉尔跟赞助人意见不合，辞职了。高第接手的时候，地基才刚打好。高第看着这个空地，沉默了很久，然后他说：“我要把它变成一个石头砌成的大教堂，但它必须像森林一样，走进去的人要感觉自己在大自然里。”从接手圣家堂那一天起，高第把越来越多的心力投入这个项目。起初他还有其他委托案在进行，但随着岁月过去，圣家堂占据了他越来越多的时间和灵魂。到了人生的最后15年，高第几乎只做一件事，就是圣家堂。他把工作室搬到工地里面，他在教堂的一角搭了一个简陋的床铺，他就睡在那里，吃在那里，工作在那里。他的生活越来越苦行。年轻时他也算是个注重打扮的人，但晚年的高第穿着破烂，头发蓬乱，胡子杂草丛生。他把所有的钱都捐出去，有时候甚至身上没有半毛钱买食物。他靠斋戒过日子，只吃少量的植物性食物，整个人瘦得像一根竹竿。他的友人试着劝他：“高第，你要照顾自己，你是不可取代的。”高第摇摇头说：“这栋教堂才是不可取代的，我只是一个工具，上帝才是真正的建筑师。”高第晚年极度虔诚，他每天早上都要去望弥撒。他相信圣家堂不是他的作品，而是他奉献给上帝的礼物。他知道自己这辈子看不到它完工。他说：“这没关系，我的客户不会赶着要。”他指的客户是上帝。1926年6月7日，高第照例早上出门去望弥撒。他沿着街道慢慢走着，那时候他已经73岁，又老又瘦，又衣衫褴褛，走在路上像一个无家可栖的老乞丐。一辆电车来了，高第没有注意到，或者说他可能走神了。他的心一直在圣家堂的某个设计细节上。电车把他撞倒了，倒在地上的高第没有人认出他是谁，路过的人以为是一个流浪汉被撞伤。计程车司机嫌他衣着破烂，拒绝载他。足足过了40分钟，才有人把他送到医院。到了医院，医生发现这个老人的身上只有一个玫瑰念珠、几个铜板，还有圣经的袖珍本。3天后，高第在医院去世。消息传出，整个巴塞隆纳震惊了。原来那个被电车撞伤的流浪汉是高第，是他们的高第，是圣家堂的建筑师。他的葬礼，有数以万计的市民走上街头送行。他被葬在圣家堂的地下墓室，就在他工作了43年的建筑底下。他在那里继续陪伴着他的教堂。高第去世后，圣家堂的建造工作并没有停止，建筑师们根据他留下的模型和图纸继续施工。但1936年西班牙内战爆发，无政府主义者冲进高第的工作室，烧毁了大量的模型和图纸，很多设计细节永远失去了。战后的重建工作艰难而缓慢，建筑师们必须根据残存的资料，一点一点重新推算高第的设计意图。有时候为了确认一个细节，要花上好几年时间研究和辩论。到了21世纪，电脑技术和3维列印的出现，让圣家堂的建造速度终于加快了。建筑师们用电脑重新模拟高第的悬链线模型，还原出更多的设计细节。他们说，现在我们才真正开始理解高第在想什么。2026年，圣家堂预计完成主要的中央高塔群，最高的耶稣基督塔将达到172.5公尺，成为欧洲最高的教堂建筑。但这个数字远远不是最重要的事情，最重要的是，走进圣家堂的那一刻，你会站在那里，完全说不出话来。光线从彩色玻璃窗透进来， 分裂成无数的颜色，洒在像树干一样分叉的柱子上。空间高得让人想仰头，却又温柔得让人想静静坐下。你会感觉自己走进了一片石头森林，走进了一个由人类双手建造的自然奇迹。高第曾经说，直线是人类的线条，曲线是上帝的线条。他用一生追随上帝的线条。如果你有机会去巴塞隆纳，一定要去看圣家堂，不管是外面还是里面，都会让你觉得这个世界原来可以这么美，这个世界原来有人用一生去追求这样的美。感谢高第，感谢这个用建筑向上帝祈祷的人。我们下次见咯。Hello everyone, I'm Jenny. Welcome to Thinker J. There is a building. Construction began in 1882. It has been under construction for over 140 years. And it is still not finished. But this is not an abandoned construction site. It is one of the most visited landmarks in the entire world. Every year more than 4 million people fly to Barcelona just to see this one unfinished cathedral. It is called the Sagrada Familia. And the man who designed it, his name was Antoni Gaudi. Today's story begins with this cathedral that never stops growing. Who was Gaudi? Many people see a photograph of the Sagrada Familia for the first time, and their first reaction is not amazement. It is confusion. What is this thing? The outer walls seem to flow like cooling lava. The towers rise like the stems of enormous plants. The decorations look like seashells, bones, and honeycombs. There is not a single straight line. Not a single conventional geometric shape. It looks as though nature itself grew this building from the ground up. That is Gaudi. He was not constructing buildings. He was letting architecture grow. Antoni Gaudi I Cornet. Born on June 25, 1852. In the small town of Reyes in the Catalonia region of Spain. His father was a coppersmith. The family had crafted copper vessels for generations. Gaudi grew up watching his father work in the workshop. He watched metal bend and twist in the heat of the flame. He watched three-dimensional objects emerge from flat sheets of metal. This gave him an unusual spatial intelligence from a very young age. But young Gaudi had a serious problem. He suffered from severe rheumatism. His joints were constantly swollen and painful. There were many days when even walking was agony. He could not run and play like other children. So he simply sat still and observed nature. He watched the spiral patterns on snail shells. He studied the geometric structure of spider webs. He traced the angles at which branches divide from tree trunks. He followed the curves left by waves washing onto shore. And he made a discovery. In nature, there are almost no straight lines. Every structure is a curve, a parabola, a hyperbola, a helix. And these shapes are not merely beautiful. They are the most efficient structures possible. They are the optimal solutions that millions of years of evolution have found. This childhood discovery became the foundation of everything Gaudi would ever build. In 1869, 17-year-old Gaudi traveled to Barcelona to study at the School of Architecture. But his family was not wealthy. He had to work while studying. He took jobs at various architectural firms, drawing plans, building models, running errands, studying during the day and earning money to pay tuition at night. His academic record was not spectacular. He was not the kind of student who swept through every subject on raw talent. But he had a stubborn persistence. When something seemed wrong to him, he could not simply accept it. He would argue with teachers, debate with classmates, because there was a very clear voice inside him, telling him that architecture should not work that way. In 1878, 26-year-old Gaudi finally received his architectural license. His principal made a remark at the graduation ceremony. He said this diploma is being awarded either to a genius or a madman. Only time will tell which. As it turned out, it was both. The newly licensed Gaudi quickly caught the attention of one very important person. His name was Eusebi Güell, one of the wealthiest industrialists in Barcelona. Güell first encountered Gaudi at the Paris World Exhibition of 1878. He saw a glass display case for gloves that Gaudi had designed. Just a display case for gloves. And yet Güell immediately recognized that something completely different was happening. Güell later said he saw not just a display case. He saw an entirely new aesthetic universe. From that moment Güell became the most important patron of Gaudi's life. He gave Gaudi almost unlimited freedom. He let him experiment without restriction. Parc Güell, Palau Güell, the crypt at Colonia Güell. All of these projects were funded by Güell. All of them gave Gaudi a place to test his so-called crazy ideas. And during this period, Gaudi's architectural language began to mature. He studied the physics of hanging chains. If you fix both ends of a chain and let it hang freely, it forms a curve called a catenary. Gaudi discovered that if you flip this curve upside down, it becomes a perfect arch. An arch capable of bearing enormous weight, without any additional support. The force of gravity itself had calculated the strongest possible structure. He applied this principle directly to architecture. He built miniature models of his buildings using ropes and small bags of sand. He let gravity automatically determine the angle of every curve. Then he turned the model upside down and photographed it. And that photograph became his architectural blueprint. This was a design method unlike anything that had ever existed in the history of human building. He also studied hyperbolic paraboloids in depth, those saddle-shaped curved surfaces. He discovered that this kind of surface could be constructed entirely from straight pieces of timber, easy to build, yet far stronger structurally than traditional vaulted ceilings. One by one he translated the mathematical language of the natural world into the language of architecture. In 1883, Gaudi took over a project that would completely consume the rest of his life: the Sagrada Familia. The project had originally been started by another architect named Viller. But Viller had a dispute with the patrons and resigned. When Gaudi took over, only the foundation had been laid. Gaudi stood in the empty space and was silent for a long time. Then he said, "I will turn this into a cathedral built of stone, but it must feel like a forest. Anyone who walks inside should feel they are in nature." From the day he took over the Sagrada Familia, Gaudi poured more and more of his energy into the project. In the early years he still worked on other commissions. But as time passed, the Sagrada Familia claimed more and more of his time and his soul. In the final 15 years of his life, Gaudi did almost nothing else. Only the Sagrada Familia. He moved his studio onto the construction site. He set up a simple bed in one corner of the cathedral. He slept there. He ate there. He worked there. His way of life became increasingly austere. In his younger years he had been fairly attentive to his appearance. But in his old age Gaudi wore ragged clothes. His hair was wild and unkempt. His beard grew long and untrimmed. He donated all his money to charitable causes. Sometimes he had not a single coin to buy food. He survived on fasting, eating only small amounts of plant-based food. He became thin as a reed. Friends tried to reason with him. "Antoni, you need to take care of yourself. You are irreplaceable." Gaudi shook his head and said, "This cathedral is what is irreplaceable. I am only a tool. God is the true architect." Gaudi was deeply and profoundly devout in his later years. He attended Mass every single morning. He believed the Sagrada Familia was not his work. It was his gift to God. He knew he would never live to see it completed. He said that did not matter at all. His client, he explained, was in no hurry. The client he meant was God. On June 7, 1926, Gaudi set out as usual on his morning walk to Mass. He moved slowly along the streets of Barcelona. He was 73 years old by then, old and thin and dressed in worn, shabby clothes. Walking along the road he looked like a homeless wanderer. A tram came. Gaudi did not notice it. Or perhaps his mind had drifted away. His thoughts were probably still caught on some design detail of the Sagrada Familia. The tram struck him. Gaudi lay in the road, and no one recognized who he was. Passers-by assumed a vagrant had been injured. Taxi drivers refused to pick him up. They said his clothes were too dirty. 40 minutes passed before anyone finally brought him to a hospital. At the hospital, the doctors found that this old man carried only 3 things: a rosary, a few copper coins, and a pocket-sized Bible. 3 days later, Gaudi died in hospital. When the news spread, all of Barcelona was stunned. That injured homeless man who had been struck by the tram was Gaudi. Their Gaudi, the architect of the Sagrada Familia. His funeral brought tens of thousands of citizens into the streets to pay their respects. He was buried in the crypt beneath the Sagrada Familia, directly beneath the building he had worked on for 43 years. He remains there still, continuing to accompany his cathedral from below. After Gaudi's death, construction on the Sagrada Familia did not stop. Architects continued the work based on the models and drawings he had left behind. But in 1936 the Spanish Civil War broke out. Anarchists stormed Gaudi's workshop. They burned a huge number of his models and drawings. Many design details were lost forever. The reconstruction effort after the war was slow and painstaking. architects had to work from the surviving fragments, reconstructing Gaudi's design intentions piece by piece. Sometimes confirming a single detail required years of research and debate. In the 21st century, the arrival of computer technology and three-dimensional printing finally began to accelerate construction significantly. Architects used computer modeling to re-simulate Gaudi's catenary models, recovering more and more of the lost design details. They now say that only with these tools have they truly begun to understand what Gaudi was imagining. In 2026, the Sagrada Familia is expected to complete the main cluster of central towers. The tallest tower, dedicated to Jesus Christ, will reach 172.5 meters, making it the tallest church structure in Europe. But that number is far from the most important thing. The most important thing is the moment you step inside the Sagrada Familia, and you find yourself standing completely speechless. Light pours in through stained glass windows. It breaks into countless colors, falling across columns that branch upward like tree trunks. The space rises so high you instinctively tilt your head back. Yet the atmosphere is so gentle you feel like sitting quietly and staying forever. You feel as though you have walked into a forest made of stone, into a miracle of nature built by human hands. Gaudi once said, "Straight lines belong to human beings. Curved lines belong to God." He spent his entire life following the lines of God. If you ever have the chance to visit Barcelona, you must go and see the Sagrada Familia. Whether you look at the outside or walk through the inside, it will make you feel that this world can be this beautiful, that this world once held a person who gave his whole life in pursuit of that beauty. Thank you, Antoni Gaudi. Thank you to the man who prayed to God through architecture. See you next time.